If I have to say only one sentence that I repeated like a million times during my PhD and doing whatever project I was doing is, I don't have any idea what I'm doing. And as I was repeating this sentence all the time, basically, as I was working as a researcher, doing my PhD and so on, at some point I started to think a little bit about what I was saying and what was actually that I didn't know how to do. And the thing was, when I started thinking about it, the thing that I didn't know what to do wasn't actually the experiment, the model, the code, and so on. Was the thinking process, like the thinking process of the next step. I will give you a very, very clear example about that. For example, when I was writing my thesis, I was constantly saying that I don't know where to start from. And actually, what I didn't know was, I don't know what to write. Like, what I didn't know wasn't typing the actual words. What I didn't know was, how do I put it all together? How do I find structure in this mess? How do I figure out what the next step is? And that's exactly what we are all trying to figure out when it comes down to our projects, our messy data, and so on. And I see this working with my clients all the time. Like, they always tend to say, I don't know what to do. And behind that, I don't know what to do, usually stands, I'm quite unsure of my next step. I don't know how to put some structure in this chaos. I don't know what is the next thing I should focus on, and so on. So the solution for this, once we realize that we are not actually having problem with the action per se, rather with the thinking process that precedes that action, that's something that when you untangle it, it becomes quite straightforward. Because when you sort of detach those two things, like you detach, for example, the writing from the thinking about the writing, and then you focus on thinking about the writing one day and then write the actual thing the other day, it becomes much, much smoother. Why? Because you are not feeding your brain with this constant overstimulating situation. So you'd have to figure it out all on your own and all by yourself and all at the same time. So you're actually putting some structure just by dividing those two activities and sort of saying, okay, I will first think about what are my next steps and then I will actually execute them. This is something that I always suggest my clients to do when project starts getting messy, when project starts really taking a toll on your to-do list, you know, when you have this thing going on in your head, like, I don't want to do this, but I should be doing this, but I'm not sure how to do it, so I'm not doing it, and so on. And this is super, super exhausting. And if you think about it, this is what actually drains your energy. Like this thinking about doing it and not actually letting the thought process proceed so you can actually have some conclusions out of it and then proceed with the actual action. So this is my message for you. If you are right now in some messy project, you are not quite seeing, like, a basic example could be a bunch of data that you are not really sure how to analyze, or you have a lot of experiments going on, you're writing your thesis, you're writing your proposal, some pitches, preparing your promotion, and so on. If you don't know what your next step is, I would really suggest to sort of detach the thinking process about the next step and execute in the next step, because you will instantly feel that you are sort of lifting the burden from your brain of trying to figure it all out at the same time. And I found this method that works wonders with me and also with many of my clients when they come with this excuse or thought or sentence of I really don't know what to do next. So this is what I do as a mentor with STEM professionals. I help them, as I like to say, find structure through the noise, make their work make sense, find out what is the next step in their projects, understand how to organize the chaos and then communicate it to others so it makes sense and it can actually give them some reward for that work, right? Whether that's a promotion, some funding, or writing a thesis, finishing a paper, and so on. So I will leave a link down below for you to schedule a completely free discovery call with me where you can see exactly how this looks like in action with your specific example, your specific project, and your specific challenge. So thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, see you in another video in the next few days. Bye bye.